Hello, everybody, welcome. Rosa Psychic Investigator, everybody, welcome. Rosa Psychic Investigator. So, hope you're doing well, guys. Today is January 9th, Friday, and it's the day after Minneapolis. And what happened with Renee Good? And this is a protection. I'd like to ask for protection, a beautiful ray of light coming on top of my head as I breathe in. I feel my lungs as I breathe out. I create a circle, I step into it, I feel protected, I feel connected. I'd like to ask that information come only from the highest sources, that it create the good and only good, so it is. So wow, guys, so it was interesting, I did the reading yesterday and it was nice to read the comments. It was just like, I just did it pretty much as soon as I read what had happened. And I wanted to show you also this crystals I got today, because I've used them to visualize rays of light in going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Okay, so this is rutilated quartz. It's kind of I went to this crystal store. It's like a tiny place. And first of all, I wanted to say that I'm surprised that there aren't that many crystal stores here, meaning because Brazil has so many, is the source of so many of these stones, but it's kind of hard to find relative to. It's not that hard to find, but it's not as good as I honestly expected it to be. So, because they probably sell abroad, right? The better, more interesting stuff. So, I went to this one store that did have this really interesting pieces that rutilated quartz, and it's kind of hard to find in the U.S. and it's very expensive. This wasn't cheap, but you see, I've only been able to buy these in the U.S. as like tumbled tiny stones. So, and I asked the guy because I thought this one was relatively cheap for the size, and he said this was nice. Made me trust him. He said, but you grade stones based on purity, right? So you could tell that this one, according to him, is not as pure. But you see how it does have all those like fine threads of gold, and that's sending their ray of light. Let's do that now that with the crystals. And I was reading more about it just this evening. That's the rutilated parts amplify, and it's like an illustration of the light in itself. So it has the light and the earth's energy, spirit, and all the good-hearted humans who are standing for Minnesota to send this energy and for this energy to be amplified so that any and all darkness can be cleared. Any and all darkness and dark attempts to harm people in Minneapolis and Minnesota, to create division and hatred, that this is immediately dissolved. Right now it is dissolved. These rays of light, this crystal light, envelops them, envelops the city, envelops the state. And these lights are so strong that they break down any and all dark energy. As this energy is breaking, we can see the power we have, and we can see the power it has had because it has removed any and all darkness. And we're living now in an era where justice prevails, because every single day we project the light onto any and all darkness that we perceive, and the darkness is immediately removed. I see the citizens of Minneapolis being strong, feeling that they have exercised justice, feeling that the city and the state is theirs, and theirs only, and any and all dark forces are immediately removed, as if by a golden dome of goodness. And so it is. It's over now. The darkness the Trump administration has pushed onto Minnesota is over as of right now. They have no power whatsoever. This administration has done, and so it is. May all the light and may all the good always protect the people of Minneapolis and Minnesota. Okay. Okay. So I wanted to just do a follow-up video, right, on this one to see how things are going for the people that dared to go there. Okay. So what is the Alice, let me ask Spirit, what is the aftermath of yesterday and the murder of Renee Good? Wow, I see that thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of people in the US and all over the world are done also. And they are praying, they're sending the light, and this is finally removing it. It's saying, it's just telling me that it is weakening there. And I see that there's still, I'm gonna go get them, blah, blah, blah. But it's weaker. It's almost like a toddler. No, this evil, I'm not saying it's a bad comparison because children, like, I don't want to compare them to children because children are inherently good. But it's like they're very mature people. They are, no, they're not. And they were still tantruming, but there's just so few of them relative to everybody else. So they're not winning. No, they're not winning. So, and I see this, I see again, interesting, Stephen Miller holding this letter and being so upset, really upset. And they're getting called some Raf. And the Raf thinks that they're messed up bigly and they don't like it. They're not happy and how the American people is responding. And even though they're heartless influencers are trying to blame the victim here, obviously, it's not working. And they, you know what's interesting? It shows me that woman, Megan Kelly, having nightmares because her conscience is calling. And wow, and it's even telling me that her relatives on the other side are coming, appearing onto, like in her dreams and such. And she's like, she's frightened because they're like, what the hell happened to you? What side are you on? Right? So all the spirits are being activated as we speak to go have a little word with some of these people. So, and I see that, wow, wow, that Renee, I see her, wow, she's, obviously shocked. It happened so quickly. And there was just a swerve. It's just like there was a car swerved and then over. Because, guys, that happened in an instant. How many seconds? Boom, she was gone. And then she's rising and she goes up in heaven and she sees how the entire city is saying her name. And she's touched. And she said, I had a wonderful life. And I just want to say that I'll always be with my son. And I see that her son can feel her presence. And she's saying that she had premonitions in some way. But how would, right? How would that was just an unexpected thing. And it's so weird because I see Jackie Kennedy actually welcoming her and saying, thank you for standing up for this country. And honestly, I think this was a total innocent. But I think she was picked on the other side to be a very important person who would trigger a lot of change. And we don't know, right? How life happens. And it's just in an instant this happened. And it's not to say that it's a nice, I'm not saying it's, oh, well, she's a martyr. No, but that's what it is. It's like that she knows and she was aware she was received back on the other side. That she accomplished her mission. But it's also very upsetting in a way to hear this, right? Because, oh, wow, it's This was her life, and it matters. So, okay. But again, this event triggered this enormous unity and all the white people and all the people that have a soul. Because at this point, anybody who's against, who's challenging this is does not. I'm sorry, you do not have a soul. Sorry, whatever you have, whatever it's. So so it's a moment of enough is enough. Okay, so it's beautiful, and again, millions and millions of people against those little trash people. Okay. So, but I want to ask about also Governor Walz and the mayor, Jacob Frey, I think his name is, of Minneapolis. So, what is going on over there? How are they doing? I see that he's Governor Walz in the control room. They are just so together. Okay, honestly, it reminds me of the spirit of New York after 9/11, because these are okay, this is terrorism. That's what it is, right? But it's a domestic terrorism, really. That's what it is by the federal government against Americans and others, right? As well. So wow. So the spirit, it's so strong, spiritually strong, and it's interesting that I had done a reading about him before, right? Just maybe the day before, a couple days before, and he's so depressed. He was so depressed, but there's something about this that keeps him alive, keeps him strong. And I almost do think that he now understands that. I mean, I think he's understood before too, but that this is his mission in life, to be alive during this moment and to be supporting his state and his constituents and his country overall. So wow, and he had to be there for this, right? And I see Renee from the other side saying he's such a wonderful man. I voted for him, Rosie. I did. She said. And what about the mayor? I see the mayor being receiving. Wow, wow. I see the mayor receiving threats and men with like rifles and what is it called from sniper rifles? Honestly, from like these groups with masks on are like kind of like, oh, where is he? Where is he? But he has security, and he may have actually been moved to a different location. This is how bad it is, right? How bad these people are. So, okay. Oh, and this is an important question that I received in the comments. That it's not a Pollyanna, but I don't think to ask those questions because I tend to just I like as you know I tend to want to stick to the positive, not go give into fear or anything. But given everything that they are doing, it's very obvious that they want to first uh, start the Insurrection Act, and then second, they want to do more. They want to like, was it someone's? What was the word they used? Um, it wasn't. It's to basically like send the right, send the military occupy Minneapolis and whatever that is, right? So, so are they going to do that? No, they're not. They don't dare. They are afraid. They are afraid now. And I said before yesterday, the military has called them and said, no, we don't work against American citizens. You better not go there. I know, and sometimes I read the comments and people say, I mean, I think I always read the comments, but I notice people like, oh, the military has betrayed us. I do still think that is the military is going to do something more radical to stop trash, but we have to stand up, right, for the values. Who cannot sit and we're not victims. Just remember, we're powerful people, right? Yes, we are. We're changing the world. Yes. So, so no, no. I see that. It's funny. I see the face of Susie Wiles, and she's like, "No, Donald, not now. It's not gonna work. No, no, no." And he's freaking out. He's collapsing. He's sundowning, right? So, oh, interesting interesting information. So, okay, so show me any plans. No, I see that Trump is trying to press these buttons, but it's not working. Oh, and by the way, I did go on that website. I should stop going there. X, and I saw Philonia. saying things, and we're like, oh my God, there's all these investors, right? And people like people to keep praising him, that thing. So what's happening with Polonia's efforts? And I see that Russians keep telling him, "Good job, no, good job working, right?" And the him and his tech bros, and they're like, "High five, man!" But it honestly, they're having all of them having these weird nightmares, visitations. It doesn't work. What is what is Elon Musk's end game when it comes to Minneapolis? It's saying to accomplish the goal of total darkness and total um, authoritarian government thing. It's living out. It's like he gets off his darkness. He's so evil. That guy. He's completely taken over by darkness, and it's saying he wants people to suffer. Just remember Trump, like he's very similar, because he knows he has committed so many crimes that only in total authoritarianism can he continue to keep going. And it's saying it's saying, Rosie, imagine if he's a hardcore meth addict or had the power that he has, which is sort of like how the position he's in right now. People praise him, but he's a madman and a scammer. And it's saying he's the embodiment of the current era, and he's gonna go down like with everybody else. Okay, so that's into this thing. But again, they're putting all of their efforts into this, but the light is not letting them. It's saying just think it's over. Guys, and I was thinking of the John Lennon song "Imagine All the," it's like it's so beautiful because it's so true, right? We can imagine, and the power of imagining that imagine all the people living life in peace. You can say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you join us. And this is everything, this song, right? It's true. It's so true. The moment we awaken to our power, we could do so much. And then just stop repeating what trash says and all these people. I think the good thing about this moment, if there's anything, is that we have to wake up to our power. We have ignored our deepest power for too long. And God loves us just as we are. And we have to awaken to it because He's been there with us every moment. Why can't we be present for the world just like He's present for us? So, and it's not about putting ourselves, quote unquote, second or anything. It's about waking up to our own power in every aspect of our lives. So, okay. All right. All right. Those are the antennas. So, thank you for watching. Okay. Good night.